Children, let us continue the chapter Chemical Reactions and Equations. Now let us discuss about different types of chemical reactions. Now let us name one by one. First one, you take combination reaction. Combination reaction. Second, decomposition reaction. Second one is decomposition reaction. Third one, that is the displacement reaction. Displacement reaction. Fourth one is double displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction. Next, you take oxidation. The next one is reduction. These are the different types of chemical reactions. Now, what are the different types of chemical reaction? Combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, oxidation, reduction. Let us discuss one by one with the examples and activity. Atoms do not disappear from one mixture and appear from elsewhere. Atoms cannot disappear and they cannot appear from elsewhere. Actually, what happens? Chemical reactions involves the breaking and making of bonds between atoms to produce new substances. In chemical reaction, what happens? The bond which is already there breaks and new bond forms and new substance also forms. In chemical reactions, breaking and making of bonds takes place between the atoms to produce new substances. In the first, breaking of bonds takes place, and in the next, making of new bond takes place. And the chemical reaction involves the breaking and making of bonds between atoms to produce new substances. That you know already learnt in 9th standard. Now here see the activity already observed. In this activity, calcium oxide reacts with water to produce calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide. In this situation or in this chemical reaction, two substances, calcium oxide and water. Calcium oxide reacts with water to produce slacked line. That is, calcium oxide and water combine to form a single product. Here there is a formation of only one product and two compounds or two substances combine to form one single product. This type of reaction is called combination reaction. Reaction in which a single product is formed by two or more reactants. Chemical reaction in which a single product is formed from two or more reactants is known as combination. The speciality is here in the product side, on the RHS, only one product will be there. But in the reactant side, two or more reactants will be there. So the chemical reaction in which two or more reactants combine to form a single product. Single product is called combination reaction. You can give more number of examples. So you take burning of coal. It is also one of the example for the chemical combination or combination reaction. Coal means that is the carbon reacts with oxygen to form a single product, carbon dioxide. Here carbon and oxygen combines to form a single product, carbon dioxide. So it is a chemical combination or combination reaction. And also here hydrogen combines with oxygen to produce water. Only one single product is formed, that is the water. So this is also one of the example of chemical combination. So here when two or more substances or elements or compounds, substances may be elements or compounds, combine to form a single product. This type of reaction is called combination reaction. Here in the previous activity, in this activity, that is already we have observed that what we have observed, a large amount of heat is produced and that is considered as a exothermic reaction. But and also here what type of chemical reaction it is? It is a combination. This chemical reaction is combination. And also you can give some more example. Here it is not a combination. Why it is not a combination? Because here two products are formed. But it is a exothermic process, exothermic reaction. See, this is also, it is not a combination because here two products are there, more than one products are there. So it is not a combination. Now you write combination reaction. What is combination reaction? Chemical reaction in which two or more reactants combine to form a single product is called chemical combination. The reactant may be elements or compounds. Here, what is combination reaction? Chemical reaction in which two or more reactants combine to form a single product is called chemical combination. Now let us take some examples. First one is calcium oxide reacts with water to produce calcium hydroxide. Here two reactants combine to give calcium hydroxide, which is a single product here. So it is a combination. Now you verify whether it is balanced or not. Know that here OO2 two atoms are there. Okay, both the sides two atoms. Ca1 one atom, and H2 two atoms. Here also two atoms. So it is balanced. Copper reacts with oxygen. Means when copper is heated with oxygen, copper oxide will be produced. That is a single product. Here two reactant reacts to produce the single product copper oxide. It is also the chemical combination. Now you balance it. Here two oxygen atoms are there. Here only one. So to make it 2, multiply here 2. Then you make it 2 here. So you got balanced 2Cu, 2Cu and O2, 2O. Next, when aluminium is heated with oxygen, aluminium reacts with oxygen to produce aluminium oxide. Aluminium reacts with oxygen to give aluminium oxide. Here two reactants, two elements, aluminium and oxygen, combine to form a single product, aluminium oxide. So it is an example of chemical combination. Now you balance this equation. Here Al2O3 is a big molecule, and you know that here O3 is having more number of maximum number of atoms. Here O3 is there, here O2 is there, so you can make it 6. 2O3, here 3O2. Then 2Al2 means aluminum atoms are 4 on the product side, so you can multiply it by 4. So you got 4Al plus 3O2 gives 2Al2O3, which is a balanced equation. Here 2Al2 means aluminum atom 4Al, they are equal. 3O2 means 6 oxygen atoms and 6 oxygen atom here. The next chemical combination is phosphorus reacts with chlorine to produce the single product phosphorus chloride. Phosphorus pentachloride it is. 5 chlorine atoms are there, so it is a phosphorus pentachloride. Here two elements, phosphorus and chlorine, reacts with each other to produce the single product phosphorus pentachloride. So it is an example of the chemical combination. Here you balance the equation. Cl5 is there, Cl2 is there, so you make it equal to 10. So you multiply it by 2. But here P4 is there, so you can't put 2 here. You must put 4 only. So you write 4 here. And 4 5s are 20 it becomes. So then you write 10. P4 plus 10Cl2 gives 4PCl5. And here Cl atoms becomes 5 4s are 20. Here Cl atoms is 10 2s are 20. And 4P, here P4, they are also equal. Now you got a balanced chemical equation. Next, aluminium reacts with chlorine to produce the single compound aluminium chloride. Here also two elements, aluminium and chlorine, combines to form the single product aluminium chloride. So it is an example of the chemical combination, and you balance it. Here Cl2 is there, here Cl3 is there. Two elements which are the reactants combine to form the single product AlCl3, and here you balance it. Chlorine atom 3 and here chlorine atom is 2, so you can have 6 here. So you take 3, here 2 3s are 6, 3 2s are 6. Now here you got 2 aluminium atom on the product side, so you write 2 here. So you got the balanced chemical equation, which is a chemical combination. Again hydrogen reacts with chlorine to form hydrochloric acid HCl. It is also chemical combination, as two reactant combine to give a single product HCl. Now here we balance. Here HCl, both of them are having only one atom, one hydrogen atom and one chlorine atoms are there. So here 2 2, so you multiply it by 2. Then here 2 hydrogen and 2 chlorine. So you got the balanced chemical equation. Next, magnesium reacts with nitrogen to produce magnesium nitride, which is a single product here. This is also an example for the chemical combination, as two reactant reacts to give magnesium nitride, which is a single product. Here magnesium, one element is, one atom is there, here 3 atoms. So to make it equals, you write 3, and N2 same number of atoms, and you got the balanced chemical equation. Next, hydrogen reacts with oxygen to produce water, H2O. This is also an example of the chemical combination, as two elements combine to form one single product. Here two reactants combine to form a single product. So it is an example of the chemical combination. Now you balance it. Here O2, O is there. So to make them equal, you write 2 here. And but here oxygen, hydrogen becomes 4. Then you write 2. Now you got 2H2, 4 hydrogen atom, 2H2, 4 hydrogen atom on both the side, and O2, 2O. In this way this equation got balanced. Next, Na plus Cl2 gives NaCl. This is also an example of the chemical combination, as two reactants combines to give single product sodium chloride NaCl. Now you balance it. Cl2 is there, so you can have 2 here. Now Cl2 atoms you got on the product side, but here you got 2 sodium atom on the product side. Now here you have to multiply this by 2. So you got 2Na plus Cl2 gives 2NaCl, which is a balanced chemical equation, and also it is an example of the chemical combination reaction. Next here, ammonia react with hydrochloric acid to give ammonium chloride. Ammonia react with hydrochloric acid to give ammonium chloride. Here also two compounds, NH3 and HCl are not element, they are the compounds. Two compounds combines to give one single product, that is also compound. So this is also an example for the combination reaction. Now here you find the number of atoms of each element. H3 plus H4, here you got 4 only. Next N, you got N, Cl, single atom. In this way you got the balanced chemical equation. This equation is already balanced. Next you take calcium reacts with chlorine to give calcium chloride. Here two elements combine to form a single product CaCl2. Calcium is an element, chlorine is an element. These two elements combine to form calcium chloride. Now verify whether it is balanced or not. Ca is there, it is balanced. Cl2, it is already balanced. Next you take Fe plus S gives FeS. Here iron reacts with sulfur to give iron sulfide, FeS. And here also two elements combine to form a single product, and it is also a chemical combination, and here the equation is balanced. See, 1 Fe atom and 1 sulfur atom. Next you take SO2 plus O2 gives SO3. Here the compound SO2, sulfur dioxide, it is a compound. It reacts with oxygen, which is an element, to give a single product, sulfur trioxide. Sulfur dioxide plus oxygen gives sulfur trioxide. And here compound reacts with element to give the compound as a product, that is a single product here. So it is also an example of the chemical combination. Now you try to balance it. Here S is there, here S is same number of elements, but here oxygen O2 plus O2, 4 oxygen atoms are there. Here 3 oxygen atoms are there. To balance it, what you can do for this? Here 2 plus 2, 4 is there. So by multiplying this 2, you got 2 2s are 4, 4 plus 2 6. Then you can make here 2. Then you got 2 3s are 6 and 2s. So it is balanced. Next you take CaO plus CO2. CaO plus CO2 gives CaCO3. Here calcium oxide reacts with carbon dioxide to give calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate. And two compounds, calcium oxide is a compound, carbon dioxide is a compound. These two compounds reacts to give calcium carbonate, which is a compound. It is also an example for the chemical combination. It is a combination reaction. Here you count the number of atoms. O3 is there. Here O2 plus 1O, that is O3. You got 3 atoms of oxygen on both the sides. Calcium, only 1 atoms on both the sides, and carbon is also only 1 atom. So it is also a balanced chemical equation. In this way you got more number of examples for the chemical combination. Here 2 or more reactants, they may be elements or compounds. 2 elements or 2 compounds, or 1 element and 1 compound combined to form a single product. That is the chemical combination. Now let us discuss about the second type of chemical reaction, that is decomposition. So it is a reverse of combination. So what is chemical decomposition? The reaction in which a compound splits up into 2 or more simpler substances is called decomposition reaction. The reaction in which compound splits up into 2 or more simpler substances is called decomposition. So let us do an activity here. Here take about 2 grams of ferrous sulfate crystals in a dry boiling tube. Here take a boiling tube, that must be a dry boiling tube. Note the color of the ferrous sulfate crystal. Here you take 2 grams of ferrous sulfate which is in the crystal form. In a dry boiling tube you take, and note the color of the ferrous sulfate, and heat the boiling tube over the flame of a burner or spirit lamp as shown in the figure. Here use the spirit lamp or burner and heat the boiling tube. Here the boiling tube is containing the ferrous sulfate, and do not point the mouth of the boiling tube at your neighbors or yourself. And here you must take care. Here the correct way of heating the boiling tube containing the crystals of ferrous sulfate and of smelling the odor is given. Ferrous sulfate crystals are light greenish. Originally ferrous sulfate crystals are light greenish. After heating, ferrous sulfate becomes brownish. Here originally it is greenish in color, light greenish. After heating, what happens? After heating, ferrous sulfate becomes brownish. That is due to the formation of ferric oxide. Ferric oxide forms here. So pungent smelling gases sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide are given out. Here what happened? On heating, ferrous sulfate breaks up into ferric oxide, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. See here, on heating, ferrous sulfate FeSO4 is a molecular formula of the compound FeSO4. Originally it is light greenish. The color of the crystals of the FeSO4 is light greenish. On heating, here pungent smelling gases liberates. They are SO2 and SO3. SO2 is sulfur dioxide and SO3 is sulfur trioxide. And the ferrous sulfate, which was grayish green in color, converts to brown, becomes brownish, and that brownish substance is nothing but ferric oxide. Here FeSO4 is converted into ferric oxide by liberating SO2 and SO3. So on heating, this FeSO4 breaks up into 3 compounds. Which are the 3 compounds formed here? 3 products here. These are the 3 products. Here only one reactant is there. That is the FeSO4, ferrous sulfate. On heating gives 3 different products. One product is splits up into 3 products. One product is broken down to give 3 products, and this type of chemical reaction is called decomposition. This is a chemical decomposition. Here what happened in this reaction, what you can observe? Single reactant breaks down to give simpler products. So this is called decomposition reaction. Ferrous sulfate crystals. This is the molecular formula of the ferrous sulfate crystal, FeSO4 7H2O. Lose water when heated and color of the crystals changes. Here you know that it is greenish in color. FeSO4 7 molecules of water will be there, and when it was in the crystal form, and when it is heated it loses water molecule and crystals changes, and it decomposes to 3 substances, 3 products: ferric oxide Fe2O3. See here, this is Fe2O3, and sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. And this ferric oxide Fe2O3 is a solid, that is brownish substances, what you can observe, and SO2 and SO3 are the gases. Sulfur dioxide SO2 and sulfur trioxide SO3, these are the gases. So this is the decomposition chemical reaction. Similarly, you can have one more example, calcium carbonate, that is the limestone. When calcium carbonate is heated, you will get calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. See, one reactant is broken down into 3 products. One reactant is broken down into 3 products. So such type of chemical reaction in which one single reactant breaks up into 2 or more products is called decomposition chemical reaction. Here single reactant breaks up down to give simpler products. In most of the decomposition reaction, heat is used. Here FeSO4 is broken down into 3 products by using heat, and also calcium carbonate is heated to produce 2 products, calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. In both the cases we used heat. So in most of the decomposition reaction, heat is used. This is called thermal decomposition. So when a decomposition reaction is carried out by heating, it is called thermal decomposition. Sometimes electricity or catalyst is also used for the decomposition reaction. Sometimes, most of the cases we are using heat, and in many cases we are using electricity and catalysts, sunlight, etc. to carry out the decomposition chemical reaction. Now you take here another example of thermal decomposition, that is, take about 2 lead nitrate powder in boiling tube. Hold the boiling tube with a pair of tongues and heat it over a flame. See here, take a boiling tube, and in that boiling tube you take lead nitrate and heat it by holding it with a pair of tongues over a flame. Here heat it, What do you observe? Note down the change if any. You know that brown residue is formed here. Here you can observe that brown residue will form. Pungent smelling fumes of nitrogen dioxide are evolved. Here gas will be evolved. Gas will be liberated. What is that gas? That is nitrogen dioxide. That is NO2. This is NO2, nitrogen dioxide. And what is that brownish residue? That is lead oxide. Here lead nitrate is converted into or broken into nitrogen dioxide, and also oxygen will also liberate here. So this is one of the example for the thermal decomposition. Here you will observe emission of brown fumes. These fumes are of nitrogen dioxide. And what is the reaction here? See the reaction, chemical reaction. Here lead nitrate. This is the lead nitrate, and it is broken down into 3 different products. One single reactant gives 3 different products, so it is a decomposition. It is a decomposition, and also it is thermal decomposition. Why it is thermal decomposition? Because on heating, the lead nitrate is broken down into 3 different products. As heat is used for this decomposition is also thermal decomposition. Here 2PbNO3 twice, which is lead nitrate. On heating, lead oxide PbO, nitrogen dioxide NO2, and oxygen will form here. These are the 3 products. And now let us do the activity for the electrolysis of water, which is one of the decomposition reaction. Now here how you can do the activity? Take a plastic mug and drill the hole at its base. Here at the base you drill the holes. 2 holes you have to drill, and fit rubber stoppers in these holes. Here fit the rubber stoppers, it is shown here, in these holes, and insert carbon electrodes. They are the graphite rods. Insert the carbon electrodes, which are the graphite rods. Here these are the 2 graphite rods. Insert carbon electrodes in these rubber stoppers. Connect these electrodes to a 6-volt battery. Here you connect the one electrode to the positive end of the battery and the other to the negative end of the battery. One is the, here this is the anode and this is the cathode, and connect one to the positive end, other to the negative end, and fill the mug with water. Here we have to fill the mug with water, and the electrodes must be immersed in the water. Here we have to fill the water in such a way that the electrodes must be immersed in the water, and also add a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to the water. Take 2 test tubes filled with water and invert them over the 2 carbon electrodes. Here we have to take 2 test tube, and here you keep the invert test tube in the inverted position over the electrodes, over the carbon electrodes. take two test tubes filled with water and invert them over the two carbon electrodes. Switch on the current and leave the apparatus undisturbed for some time. Here there is a switch on and keep the apparatus without disturbing for some time. And what you will observe here, you will observe the formation of bubbles at both the electrodes. After some time, here you can observe the formation of the bubbles on the side of the both the electron. At both the electron you can observe the formation of the bubbles. These bubbles are displacing the water in the test tube. Here you know that the quantity of water goes on decreases. The volume of the gas collected the same. Here you observe the volume of the gas collected in both the test tube are same or not. The volume of gas collected in one test tube is double the other. Here the volume of gas collected in the two test tubes is not the same. Once the test tubes are filled with the respective gases, remove them carefully. Remove the test tube carefully and test these gases one by one by bringing a burning candle close to the mouth of the test tube. Here both the test tube will fill with the gases, and here remove the test tube filled with the gases and bring the burning candle near both the test tube. What you can observe here, in one test tube the gas burns with a pop sound. In one test tube gas burns with a pop sound, and in the other test tube here the candle burns more brightly. So one is the hydrogen, other is the oxygen. First one in which the gas burns with a pop sound, that is the hydrogen, and other one by using which the candle burns brightly, that is the oxygen. You know that oxygen is a facilitator of the burning and hydrogen is a burning gas. It is a burning gas, itself burns, but oxygen, it is a facilitator of the burning, it helps to burn. In this way you can note down that the water which is present here, water which we have taken is broken down into hydrogen and oxygen. Water is broken down into hydrogen and oxygen here. H2 is present in one test tube, that is double the volume. Here you got H2 and oxygen, O2, that is in the other test tube. H2 is double the volume than the oxygen. In this way you got two elements from the water by electrolysis method. This is one of the electrolytic decomposition. And also we have done the activity to observe the light decomposition, in which the silver chloride in the presence of sunlight is decomposed into silver and chlorine. That you have done by taking 2 grams of silver chloride in a China dish, and it is a white in color, and this turns to gray in sunlight. That is observed already. So that is also one of the, that is already endothermic reaction, and also it is light decomposition. Here the sunlight, the heat is used, and it is endothermic reaction, and also it is light decomposition. It is also, you can say that the decomposition takes place with the help of the sunlight. Here the single reactant, that is AgCl, is converted into two products. It is broken down into two products. silver and chlorine. So this is also decomposition, and that is in the presence of sunlight. So it is called light decomposition. That is, silver chloride when exposed to sunlight turns grey. This is due to decomposition of silver chloride into grey silver and chlorine in the presence of light. So this happens due to absorption of light energy. Such reactions are used in photography, and this is one of the applications of the decomposition due to presence of sunlight, which is applied in the photography. Here we have taken this reaction already in the endothermic reactions. Again, silver bromide, it also behaves in the same way. We have studied this also. That is also under the presence of sunlight. And these reactions are used in black and white photography. So we have seen that the decomposition reactions require energy either in the form of heat, light or electricity for breaking down the reactants. And reactions in which energy is absorbed, that endothermic reaction. So most of all the decomposition reaction are endothermic reactions. Here energy is required to break them. Now you write decomposition reaction. What is decomposition reaction? The reaction in which a compound splits up into two or more simpler substances is called decomposition. So you write that reaction in which a compound splits up into two or more simpler substances is called decomposition. In decomposition, heat, light, electricity, catalyst, etc. are used. If in decomposition reaction heat is used, then it is thermal decomposition. If light is used, then that is light decomposition or photochemical decomposition. If electricity is used, then it is electrolytic decomposition. You take some examples of decomposition. First one you take, that is FeSO4 gives Fe2O3 plus SO2 plus SO3. Here ferrous sulfate is decomposed into Fe2O3, ferric oxide, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide in the presence of, that by using heat. When it is heated, when FeSO4 heated, that reactant FeSO4 is splits up into three products. So it is thermal decomposition. Here you balance it. Fe2SO4, FeSO4 is ferrous sulfate, Fe2O3, here 5, here also 5 are there. So here Fe2 is there and O4 is there. Here O3, O2, O3. So you will get 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8. And here you can make it 2. Then it becomes the balanced equation. Fe2, 2 Fe is there, and S, 2 S atoms are there. So now it becomes balanced. Now you take CaCO3 gives CaO plus CO2 on heating. When calcium carbonate is heated, it gives calcium oxide and CO2. Here calcium carbonate is splitted into two products, calcium oxide and carbon dioxide on heating. When lead nitrate PbNO3 twice is heated, lead oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. These are the three products obtained by splitting lead nitrate on heating. These three are thermal decomposition reaction as heat is used. Next, let us take here when AgCl and AgBr, silver chloride and silver bromide, are exposed to sunlight, they splits up into silver and chlorine, and AgBr splits up into silver and bromine. And this is in the presence of sunlight, so it is light decomposition or photochemical decomposition. Now we verify whether it is balanced or not. Here Cl2 is there, so you must have 2 here and also 2. Same here, 2, 2. Now it becomes balanced equation. Now you take the splitting up of water into hydrogen and oxygen, that is by passing the electric current. Here electric current will pass through the water, then it splits up into two products, hydrogen and oxygen. So it is called electrolytic decomposition, as this decomposition takes place by using the electric current. So these are the different examples for the decomposition reaction.